That person who seems so charming and confident might actually be someone who lacks real feelings and has learned to fake emotions just to get what they want from others. Most people think they know the difference between a sociopath and a psychopath, but the truth is, sociopaths are much more common and much harder to spot because they blend into everyday situations perfectly. They work alongside us, they date us, and they even become our friends, all while secretly viewing us as tools to be used rather than real people with feelings. The scary part is that sociopaths are not the obvious villains we see in movies. They do not wear signs or act crazy in public. Instead, they have mastered the art of appearing normal while slowly manipulating everyone around them. They know exactly what to say to make you trust them, exactly how to act to make you believe they care, and exactly when to strike when you are most vulnerable. What makes this even more dangerous is that many people confuse sociopaths with psychopaths and end up looking for the wrong warning signs. While psychopaths are born with their condition and tend to be more calculated, sociopaths are made by their environment and are much more unpredictable and explosive. This means the signs are completely different, and if you are watching for psychopath behaviors, you will miss the sociopath standing right in front of you. Today, I'm going to show you 5 clear signs that someone in your life might be a sociopath, not a psychopath. These signs are based on real psychology and real experiences that will help you protect yourself before it is too late. This information is absolutely crucial, so please do not skip any part of this video. If you need to save time, watch at 1.5 or 2 times speed instead of jumping around, because each sign builds on the previous one. Now here is where things get really interesting, and honestly, kind of funny when you think about it. Have you ever met someone who made you feel like you just won the lottery, but instead of money, you won their attention? They shower you with compliments, they text you constantly, and suddenly your phone is buzzing more than a bee in a flower garden. It feels amazing, right? Well, here is the thing that might make you laugh and cry at the same time. This person who is making you feel like the center of the universe is actually following a playbook. Yes, a literal playbook. It is like they went to some twisted school where they learned exactly what buttons to push to make you feel special. The technical term for this is love bombing, but I like to call it the fake fireworks show. It looks spectacular, it gets your attention, but when the smoke clears, there is nothing real left behind. Here is how you can spot this happening. Real connections grow slowly, like a good friendship or a plant that needs time to develop roots. But sociopaths, they want to skip all that boring getting to know you stuff and jump straight to the part where you trust them completely. They will say things like, "I have never met anyone like you," or "It feels like we have known each other forever," within the first few conversations. Now, if someone said that to you after knowing you for 3 days, your brain should be throwing up red flags like a referee at a football game. The difference between this and genuine interest is timing and consistency. When someone truly likes you, they show interest gradually, and their behavior stays consistent over time. But sociopaths, they come on strong and fast because they need you to become emotionally invested before you have time to really think about what is happening. It is like they are trying to get you to sign a contract before you can read the fine print. Psychopaths are different because they are more patient and calculated. They will take months or even years to slowly build trust. But sociopaths are impatient. They want results now, which is why they use this overwhelming attention technique. They will remember every tiny detail you mentioned about yourself and bring it up later to make you think they really care. But here is the truth. They are just good at taking notes. So how do you test if someone is genuinely interested or just manipulating you? Simple. Slow things down. If they respect your pace and continue to show consistent interest, that is a good sign. But if they get frustrated, pushy, or start guilt-tripping you for wanting to take things slower, you have got yourself a sociopath. They cannot handle it when their fast-track plan gets disrupted because their whole strategy depends on speed and overwhelming you before you can think clearly. You know what really gets me? I once knew someone who told me they grew up poor, then a week later mentioned their family's summer house, and then somehow became an only child after talking about their siblings for months. At first I thought maybe I misheard, or maybe they were just bad at explaining things. But then I realized something that changed how I looked at people forever. This person was not just confused or forgetful. They were rewriting their entire history, depending on what would get them the most sympathy or admiration from whoever they were talking to. And let me tell you, watching someone try to keep track of their own lies is like watching someone juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle. Entertaining, but you know it is going to end badly. Here is what blew my mind about this whole experience. Normal people, when they lie, they usually have a reason. Maybe they want to avoid getting in trouble, or they do not want to hurt someone's feelings. But sociopaths, they lie because breathing is automatic to them. They will lie about what they had for breakfast, even when telling the truth would be easier. It is like their brain is stuck on a setting that says, make everything more dramatic and interesting. The scary part is how good they are at it in the moment. They will tell you a story with such confidence and emotion that you believe every word. But if you pay attention over time, you will start noticing that the details do not add up. They will say they hate dogs because they were bitten as a child, then post pictures with their family dog from childhood. They will claim they never went to college, then accidentally mention their professor from their favorite class. What makes this even more twisted is that they often forget which version of the story they told to which person. So if you ever find yourself in a group setting with someone like this, just sit back and watch. It is like seeing someone trying to perform 3 different plays at the same time. They will contradict themselves within the same conversation and not even realize it. The difference between sociopaths and psychopaths here is huge. Psychopaths lie strategically. Every lie serves a specific purpose in their long-term plan. But sociopaths lie compulsively. They cannot help themselves. It is like they have an allergy to the truth. They will lie about things that do not even matter, just because lying feels more natural to them than telling the truth. If you want to catch someone in this pattern, here is what you do. Do not confront them directly, because they will just create more lies to cover up the old ones. Instead, just listen and remember. Keep mental notes of their stories. Ask casual questions about details they mentioned before. A truthful person will give you consistent answers, but a sociopath will give you a completely different story and act like that is what they always said. At this point, if you are finding this information as eye-opening as I hope you are, and you have not already hit that subscribe button, now would be a perfect time to smash it. Trust me, your future self will thank you for learning how to spot these people before they can mess with your head. Now, what I am about to share with you might be the most important thing you learn today, and I am not being dramatic here. This is the kind of information that could literally save you from years of emotional damage, and I want you to pay close attention because this sign is often the most dangerous one. Picture this scenario. Someone seems perfectly normal, maybe even charming and fun to be around. Then one day, the barista at their favorite coffee shop accidentally gives them the wrong order. Instead of just asking for the right drink or shrugging it off like most people would, they absolutely explode. I am talking about screaming, throwing things, making a scene that makes everyone in the entire place uncomfortable. Then, 20 minutes later, they are acting like nothing happened and getting upset that everyone is still tense around them. This is not just having a bad day. This is not stress from work or being tired. This is a volcanic rage that comes out of nowhere over things that should not matter to a mentally healthy person. The crazy part is that they can go from 0 to completely insane in seconds, then back to normal just as fast, leaving everyone around them feeling like they just survived a tornado. Here is what makes this behavior so different from how psychopaths handle anger. Psychopaths rarely lose control because everything they do is calculated. When they get angry, it is usually cold, controlled, and serves a purpose. But sociopaths, their anger is like a fire that burns everything around it, including themselves. They cannot control it, and they do not care who gets hurt in the process. The most dangerous part about this explosive anger is what comes after. Once they calm down, they will either act like nothing happened, or they will become the most apologetic person you have ever seen. They will cry, they will promise it will never happen again, they will buy you gifts, they will do whatever it takes to make you forget what you just witnessed. But here is the truth. It will happen again, and it will probably be worse next time. These episodes are not random. They usually happen when the sociopath feels like they are losing control of a situation, or when someone challenges them in any way. It could be as simple as someone disagreeing with their opinion, or not giving them the attention they think they deserve. Their brain cannot handle being told no, or being made to feel less important than they think they are. If you ever find yourself around someone during one of these explosions, your safety is the most important thing. Do not try to calm them down, do not try to reason with them, and definitely do not fight back. Just get away from the situation as quickly and safely as possible. These moments can turn dangerous very quickly because sociopaths lose all sense of boundaries when they are in this state. The aftermath is just as important to pay attention to. A healthy person who lost their temper would feel genuinely sorry and would work to make sure it does not happen again. But sociopaths will either blame you for making them angry, or they will love bomb you again to make you forget. They will never take real responsibility for their actions. Now, if this information is helping you connect some dots about people in your life, and you want to support the work we are doing here to help people protect themselves from these situations, you can always click that thanks button below this video to leave a donation. Every bit helps us continue creating content that could genuinely change lives. Now let's continue. This lesson right here could be the difference between you becoming another victim or walking away before you get hurt. I need you to understand that this is not just dating advice or relationship tips. This is about recognizing a pattern that could save you from emotional destruction, and I cannot stress enough how important it is that you never take this information for granted. When you meet a sociopath, their relationship history will tell you everything you need to know about their future behavior, but only if you know what to look for. Here is the thing that will absolutely shock you. They will actually tell you about their failed relationships, but they will paint themselves as the victim in every single story. Every ex was crazy, every former friend betrayed them, every family member who does not talk to them anymore was just jealous or could not handle their success. What they are really telling you is that they have never maintained a healthy, long-term relationship with anyone in their entire life. But they will never say it that way. Instead, they will make you feel sorry for them and make you believe that you are different, that you are the one person who finally understands them and will not hurt them like everyone else did. The pattern is always the same. Their relationships start intensely and passionately, burn bright for a short period, then end in complete disaster with burned bridges everywhere. They do not have old friends they still talk to occasionally. They do not have exes they can speak to civilly. They do not have family members who genuinely enjoy their company. Everyone from their past is either completely cut off or actively trying to avoid them. Here is what makes this different from psychopaths. Psychopaths can actually maintain relationships for years or even decades because they see the value in keeping people around for their own benefit. They will fake being a good partner, friend, or family member as long as it serves their purposes. But sociopaths burn through relationships quickly because they cannot control their impulses and their true nature always comes out. The questions you need to ask, but in a casual way that does not seem like an interrogation, are simple but revealing. How long was their longest relationship? Do they still talk to anyone from their past? What happened with their childhood friends? How do they get along with their family? A healthy person will have some long-term relationships, even if romantic ones did not work out. They will have at least a few people from their past who they can speak positively about. But a sociopath? Every story will be about betrayal, every relationship will have ended badly, and somehow it was never their fault. They will tell you these stories in a way that makes you want to protect them and prove that you are different. They will make you feel special for being the one person who finally gets them and would never hurt them like everyone else did. The most heartbreaking part is that they genuinely believe their own stories. They have rewritten history in their minds so many times that they actually think they were the victim in every situation. They cannot see that the common factor in all their failed relationships is themselves. They cannot understand that their behavior is what drives people away, so they just keep repeating the same patterns over and over again. This is why understanding this sign is so crucial. If you ignore this pattern and think you can be the exception, you are setting yourself up to become just another story they will tell the next person about how you betrayed them too. Do not let yourself become another chapter in their book of failed relationships. Now, I need you to take a moment and think about someone in your life who always seems to be surrounded by drama, but somehow they are never the one causing it. Think about that person who always has stories about people treating them unfairly, situations going wrong for no reason, or conflicts that just seem to follow them wherever they go. Now, I want you to really consider something that might change how you see these situations forever. What if I told you that the person at the center of all this chaos is actually the one creating it? What if the person who seems to be the innocent victim in every story is actually the one pulling the strings behind every conflict? This might be hard to accept, because sociopaths are incredibly skilled at making themselves look like the wronged party in every situation they create. Here is how this works, and it is both brilliant and terrifying. They will start drama between two people by telling each person something different about what the other person supposedly said. Then they will sit back and watch the conflict unfold while positioning themselves as the peaceful mediator who just wants everyone to get along. They will say things like, "I do not understand why everyone is always fighting," or "I just want peace, but people keep dragging me into their problems." The language they use is specifically designed to make you feel bad for them and angry at whoever they claim is causing the problem. They will say things like, "I cannot believe they would say that about you," or "I probably should not tell you this, but I thought you should know what they really think about you." They plant seeds of doubt and conflict, then disappear when the explosion happens. What makes this even more manipulative is how they position themselves during the aftermath. While everyone else is dealing with hurt feelings, broken friendships, and damaged relationships, the sociopath is playing the role of the caring friend who is just trying to help everyone work things out. They will offer to mediate, they will give advice about forgiveness, and they will make themselves look like the most mature and understanding person in the group. The most dangerous part about this behavior is that it can destroy entire social groups, families, and workplaces without anyone realizing what is happening. People start to believe that certain individuals are troublemakers or that some relationships are just naturally toxic, when the reality is that one person is manipulating everyone like pieces on a chessboard. If you start paying attention to the patterns around someone like this, you will notice that drama follows them everywhere they go, but they are never directly involved in the actual conflict. They are always just the messenger, the concerned friend, or the innocent bystander who got caught up in other people's problems. But somehow, they always come out looking good while everyone else ends up hurt and confused. The way to protect yourself from this manipulation is to stop taking their word for what other people think or say about you. If someone tells you that another person said something hurtful about you, go directly to that person and ask them about it. Most of the time you will discover that the conversation never happened the way it was described to you, or it never happened at all. Also, pay attention to how they respond when you try to resolve conflicts directly instead of going through them. A genuine peacemaker will be happy when people work things out on their own. But a sociopath will get frustrated or try to convince you that going directly to the other person is a bad idea. They need to stay in the middle of conflicts to maintain control over the situation. This sign is particularly important because it shows you that the sociopath sees relationships as games to be won rather than connections to be cherished. They get entertainment and a sense of power from watching people fight, especially when they know they caused the fight, but nobody else realizes it. Now that you know these 5 signs, you have something that most people will never have: the ability to spot a sociopath before they can destroy your peace of mind. You understand that the charming person who makes you feel special too quickly is probably following a manipulation playbook. You can recognize when someone's stories do not add up because they cannot keep track of their own lies. You know that explosive anger over small things is not normal and definitely not something you should tolerate or try to fix. You also understand that someone who has burned bridges with everyone from their past will eventually burn bridges with you too, and you can identify when someone is creating drama while pretending to be innocent. This knowledge is not just information. It is protection for your mental health, your relationships, and your future happiness. But here is where I need to be completely honest with you. If you go back to ignoring red flags after learning all of this, if you convince yourself that someone is the exception to these rules, or if you think you can fix or change a sociopath, then you are choosing to become a victim. You would be like someone who learns that a building is on fire, but decides to run inside anyway. That is not brave or loving. That is just foolish. The difference between psychopaths and sociopaths is clear now. Psychopaths are calculated and patient, while sociopaths are impulsive and explosive. Both are dangerous, but sociopaths are more common and often harder to identify because their behavior seems like it could be normal personality flaws rather than serious mental disturbances. Your instincts are your best defense. If something feels wrong, it probably is. If someone seems too good to be true, they probably are. If you find yourself constantly making excuses for someone's behavior or feeling like you are walking on eggshells around them, trust those feelings and get away from that person. The most important thing you can do now is share this information with people you care about. Sociopaths rely on people not knowing how to identify them. The more people who understand these signs, the harder it becomes for sociopaths to find victims. Your knowledge could literally save someone from years of emotional abuse. Right now, YouTube's algorithm is about to suggest another video that could be exactly what you need to see next. The algorithm knows what serves you best, based on what you just learned. So click on that suggested video and continue protecting yourself with even more valuable information. Your brain is already primed to absorb more knowledge that could change your life for the better.